Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Laura Canfield Show, the Awaken to Happiness Now Global Series. Thank you so much for being here with us today. And at this, crucial time in our history and with everything that's going on, I'm so glad and, blessed to have my good friend Lori Spagna here with us today. And we're going to be talking about the illumination and awakening of humanity and the birth of the third wave of Ascension. And so many people have been talking about how what we are experiencing right now has to do with Ascension. So we're going to talk about that and more. And for those of you who don't know Lori, Lori is a really good friend. She's been on our show many, many times over the past 7, 8 years, however long it's been. Lori is a best-selling author, speaker, Ascension guide, multidimensional channel, intuitive, animal communicator, energy healer, visionary, light worker, and starseed, who has transformed the lives of thousands of humans and animals via her channeled Ascension guidance, intuition, sacred energy healing, and animal communication and telepathy, her DNA activations, her key code activations, her all sorts of wonderful tools that she brings to her community, her healing circles, manifestation circles, and I'm so glad that she's here with us today. So Lori, welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you. I'm thrilled to be here. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Anytime, you're always welcome, and we love having you because I find that when you do your activations, they're so powerful, and apart from the activations, your guidance and your wisdom is so relevant and appropriate, and especially for right now, what we're going through. And like I was just saying, that a lot of people are saying how right now is also a time of what we're going through is Ascension. So can you talk about a little bit about that and how, this might be the birth of the third wave of Ascension and what that looks like, and how, I always ask so many questions at the beginning, right? It's like, I just keep on going with questions. So let's start off with that. I do want to be conscious of our time, and I want to make sure that we do take some time to do an activation of some sort today. And we're going to take a few questions, but we would really like it if the questions were more of a general collective type of question, not something personal, because we want it to be relevant to everybody right now. And I know we could all use some extra support. So Lori's here to support all of us.
Yeah, so, well, it's the birth of the third wave for those of us who are on the Ascension, consciously on the Ascension journey. So you kind of have to understand the nature of reality just right out the door. Let's just get right to it. The nature of reality is that what you perceive and whatever your vibrational frequency will be radiating out from you. So your vibrational frequency is the easiest way to describe it. If it's fear-based and anxiety-based and, oh my God, what are we going to do? How are we going to survive? That reality will be projected from you onto the stage of your life, and that will be what you're dealing with. And if you're of a vibrational frequency that's more aligned with peace and love, on the other polarized extreme, which is that you're generally calm and you know that all will be well, and you understand that there's a divine plan, even though you don't understand all aspects of it necessarily, you're generally going to be vibrating in this frequency range, and that which you project onto the screen of your life will be projected and revealed to you, and you'll have a similar experience. So when we talk about the birth of the third wave, what we're talking about is where consciousness is creating in the now moment as real, based on where you're at. And the third wave is, unfortunately, as a collective facing their immediate fears. We're talking base root chakra survival issues and power issues and issues of ignorance, because they really don't know what's going on at all. So those are two polarized, and there's no judgment here. It's just every being came here for whatever reason, for their unique journey. So what we're talking about here is very polarized experiences, but of course there's all kinds of ranges in the middle based on vibrational frequency and perspective. And whatever you're revealing to yourself, whatever's experiencing in your reality, is basically, for the most part, your creation, and we're all having an overlapping collective experience where this dynamic is going on globally. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. And so, for most of us, we know that all will be well. We know, that everything that is going on, it's a time of people wanting to transition, wanting to move out of this reality, this dimension. But it's also a time where those of us who are conscious or who are able to choose differently, I mean, I'm choosing to do a lot of inner work, right? So if I have more time, which I don't really, because my life has not changed at all. I'm still doing the same thing. The only difference is my husband's home, right? So there's a bit of a distraction. But
Get it.
but I
I don't have a
am
husband, but I can get it.
uh,
I'm busy too, so I get it.
exactly, right. So nothing's changed except for that.
Yeah.
But I am still at this time taking more time for myself, right? Doing more healing work, doing more meditations, connecting more, to globally, to everybody, to send out, energies of healing and love and light and blessings, etc., just to ease the fears, a little bit of the fears that people are experiencing right now. But again, that's also a choice. Like, do you want to buy into the fear, or do you want to go within and say, you know what, this too shall pass? Because it will, right? This will pass. And what can I learn from this experience? And so for me, it's about prioritizing what's really important.
Yeah.
It is our families. It is being close. It is doing, sometimes we have less distractions now, so we can focus on what's really important to us.
Yes. Well, it's also, from a perspective of ascension and awakening and the third wave, I'd like to do a little defining of that.
Mm-hmm.
So the way I see it and the way I define it, and this is my lens and my perspective and everything that I've been doing for the past 15 or so years, however long it's been, is that in the years from the 60s to 2011, you had the birth of the first waivers.
Mm-hmm.
And prior to the 60s, you had like what I call scouts or pre-waivers to sort of plant the seeds. But that was all mental here. That wasn't energetic or vibrational. The vibrational shifts started happening in the 60s, mid 60s, and were largely suppressed, especially around the time of 9/11 and then the great economic collapse that we had in 2008.
Yeah.
Those were ways to suppress and slow down. They were deliberate, sabotaging ways to suppress and slow down the awakening of humanity. And then right around 2011, 2012, you had second wavers waking up. And the second wavers have been waking up, and they triggered the button of critical mass, so to speak. First wavers and second wavers triggered the critical mass awakening that happened in 2020. So what you're seeing when I say third waiver, we're talking about critical mass has been reached, that enough humans have decided on planet Earth, we want to wake up. We want to be free from this fear, domination, control, and we want liberation. Mm-hmm. And it's the awareness also of second wavers who have become so incredibly empathic and sensitive that there's an awareness like, whoa, I need my empathic space now. I'm so much bigger and greater than I was now. I'm in so much more fullness of my whole light body and my whole empathic sensitivity. I need more space. And also there's this kind of awareness of like, this frequency range down here is now becoming too constrictive and too limiting, and I want to continue to ascend. So let's have some time here. Final call for these third wavers to come online and to sort of choose fear, love, fear, love, fear, love. So we have this catapulting domino effect to trigger these third wavers into higher frequencies, but it's really the final stage call in a sense. So after that, what happens is these vibrational bandwidths, and it's been happening, it's always happening, they start dropping away because you no longer can resonate in harmony with such extreme polarity. And we call that a bifurcation, a separation. Mm-hmm. But to our consciousness, that is basically invisible in a sense. We just are in our reality bubble in a sense of our vibrational frequency. So when we talk about third wave, we're talking about the ripple effect of mass consciousness awakening enough to reach critical mass, So then now these people who have been formerly completely, we'll use the word ignorant, not from a judgment point of view, just from an unconscious. We could use the word mostly unconscious. We could use the words fear-based, have an opportunity, a final last call, so to speak, to wake up, or else fractal off into a parallel reality that will be fear-based. I perceive it. Or else end of game scenario for them is basically where they finish in life transition over the coming, I perceive it to be approximately 15 calendar years.
Mm-hmm.
Although we really don't entirely know that, because again, now we're at this point where we're all creating our own future, even though there's a reality bubble of overlap. Does this make sense?
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like, what are you choosing, right? What is your reality, right? And what are you wanting to experience? And it's not necessarily even about what are you wanting to experience, but what are you calling forth to experience, and what actions are you taking to experience that for yourself, right? So
Yes.
those of us who are on these types of calls and in this community, obviously we are, a little bit more conscious, right? And we are doing our fair bit of raising the vibration of the planet, raising the vibration of humanity, and working with the planet, working with Gaia, right? We're doing a lot, right? And
this is why we reach critical mass.
Yeah, exactly. And so now it's about continuing, so for those, because let's face it, those people who are unconscious, they're not on these calls, right? So for us,
they're getting it mostly through word of mouth. That's how it starts, and vibrationally, right? Energetically.
Yeah, vibrationally.
Like
for sure.
The other day I was talking to my father like 10 days ago or something, and I was saying how, well, we're the virus on Earth. Humans are the virus on Earth, and we need to kind of, Mother Earth is like, hey, go inside your home, sit still. I need to heal. I want my air clear. The air is clear. I want my skies clear. I want my waters clear. I want you, go sit in your corner and sort of think about what you've done and meditate. And what does a mommy say to her children? Who's a good mom? Sit still for a little while.
Yeah.
Think about what you've done. Make some new choices. So in a frequency zone, that's a frequency zone of what's happening. And I was saying something like that to my father. That's so out of his periphery. That's not at all how he would see it, right?
No, not at all.
But like a week later, we were talking, and he said it to me as if he knew it all along.
Awesome.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's what I mean. A lot of third wavers are getting information that way. Mm-hmm. They just sort of get it. It's like comes into their consciousness, and then they believe it's theirs, because that's how this domino effect tends to work. So they don't really sit on calls like this so much, because it's not their calling. It's that we go out and we interact with them in a physical way or a non-physical way, or telephone, whatever, social media.
But even for us who, if we're talking to our family or our friends, it's not about forcing it down their throat. It's just, saying, hey, what do you think about this? A different perspective.
Yeah, if you force it, you'll find fight and resistance.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you're in that's never the way. It won't work.
No, so for
third wavers have been the most resistant. And I mean, they are, in a sense, from a perspective, right? They are the virus, in a sense. It's not them or us, but in a sense, because they're the ones who have to transform this experience now. We are here to facilitate, to continue to anchor in peace. At this point, the best we can do is anchor in some of the highest frequencies that we can anchor in at this time is peace, faith, discernment, because these third wavers have no discernment. They have given all of their power away to the media and to global elites and to bankers and to, I'm saying they, but we've all done it.
Yeah.
It's just we fortunately have woken up. So I say they, but it's a reflection of who we all have been. So I include myself in that sense. It's just not part of my current reality. But, so we can anchor in integrity. Oh God, you want to anchor in something? We'll do downloads. That's we're going to come through for our group today.
Yeah.
Bringing in integrity, bringing in discernment, because most of these third wavers do not understand that there's a big hoax on them. At lower frequencies, that's going on too. Huge hoax, right? This whole thing is a hoax. So not that it's not really happening it is happening. I'm not denying it. I'm not saying pretend it's not happening. I'm not saying there's not people dying. That's going on.
Yeah.
And of course, I'm here as part of the solution. But because of my frequency bandwidth, I can see all the layers of this. So there is a frequency bandwidth where, hey, someone had and developed this from the SARS virus.
Mm-hmm.
It's a strand of that. It was released. There was an agenda behind it. That's very disturbing and upsetting, but it's clear that that was a tool of population control. And that is a war on humanity. And the people in the lower ranges who are vibing with the fear will, of course, be the first ones to run for their immunizations and vaccines as soon as those are released, which were available before this vaccine, before this was ever released on the masses.
Yeah.
We know exactly where it leads to. I mean, those of us in this know at this frequency, we can see that. Just like angels can see things that we can't see. Just like the higher and clearer your visionary perspective, the more you up level and vibe with purity, with truth, with all these higher frequencies, the more awareness you have.
Mm-hmm. And it's not just to be not just to be transparent. It's not just us who are getting this information, right? So it's not totally woo-woo. This is real. I mean, even my husband found out this information, all sorts of wonderful stuff, that he found, and it's like, huh, so it's like, it is available if you wanted to look for it, but it is.
When Trump makes an announcement, for example, that says, hey, my people want to go back to work, who do you think he's talking to? The people who have the vaccines,
mm-hmm.
who are withholding it
mm-hmm.
till they can reach the maximum impact of fear, domination, control, and manipulation. Yeah. So that when they finally make the vaccines available, they will get also the maximum financial gain.
Yeah, I'm not doing the vaccine. I'm just saying. I've already said I'm not doing it.
And you understand this was peaked out by all the vaccine mm-hmm. crap that was being discussed prior to it happening. So humanity was unresolved on this issue. It was such a big issue for so long. Everybody's like, how do we avoid forced immunizations? People were asking all the time. It's like, well, get conscious, raise your frequency to higher levels, do the inner work. That's how you avoid it. Look, I want to just say clearly though, I'm presenting right now, we just dive right into it because that's what we do. There's multiple layers here. The other aspect is that humanity's being asked to basically heal and resolve and up level our awareness. Mm-hmm. Because of course we have core issues of survival issues. We have core issues of giving our power away. We have core issues of unworthiness. Viruses only really can energetically match up with someone who is experiencing extreme unworthiness. That was HIV was a perfect example of the plague. What got the poor and the homeless in the streets. Mm-hmm. It's those frequencies of extreme unworthiness, lack of self-love. A virus in general as a vibrational frequency is linked to a state of feeling as if you have no control and at the same time feeling like the joy of your life is lost. And that is the virus of humanity right now, because everybody just started working for, everybody on earth, especially in the third wavers, became just slaves to money, slaves mm-hmm. to the system, slaves to corporate agenda, slaves to the pharmaceutical drug industries, slaves to the government, slaves. And people have lost their joy of life.
Mm-hmm. So it's time for us to bring that back now, right?
Yeah. I mean, do you know how many people just wanted time off from work mm-hmm. all around the world? People just wanted time off.
They just
weren't stuck having to work. I remember before it happened, I'm so conscious of my thoughts. This was what was really a mind melt for me. It was like, I remember right before it happened saying, I knew that there was a Mercury retrograde coming in January. I'll talk a little bit about the astrology too, if you want to hear.
Sure.
But I said to myself, I'm not looking for things to like go backwards or slow down or anything. I just want everything to stop for a little while. I said that out loud. And I know the power of I'm at such a high frequency now, like it's instant manifestation. When that happened, I also know the part of me that was like doing massive cleanup on relationship issues over the past year and cleaning up so much that was incongruent in my relationship field. I mean, I know the part of me that's been an empath, that's been like, I don't feel like touching everybody. Because a lot of people, I have been touched by a lot of people, and a lot of people are still vampiristically pulling energy without even being conscious of the fact that they do it. Now, I know I'm not alone. This is a lot of light workers have felt this way. And obviously humans around the world have wanted time off from work. It's a big reset. And when we get conscious of how we contributed to it, mentally, awareness-wise, you can see our role in it. But that's the 2020 vision of 2020, right? 2020 vision. You can see all. So none of us are, in a sense, we're all experiencing it as it's relevant for us.
Yeah,
what's most important, though, I was saying, to reclaim the joy of life, to reclaim worth and deservability. And, you know, when you have an economic collapse, that is always linked to a deep sense of some form of unworthiness and undeservability. All financial challenges are linked to that in our state of reality. So we'll have to work on our self-worth and our joy of living.
Absolutely.
And I mean, freedom is another thing that's huge. In fact, I just was told to say that. So I'm gonna make a mark of it because we'll do a little healing for the group.
Awesome.
When I go.
And so, you know,
I mean, freedom is a huge thing right now.
When we were talking about 2020 back in the fall, we were saying we were already getting into the energies of 2020. It's going to be a big year. Everybody was talking about this is going to be a really, really big year. But mostly everybody was talking about this is going to be the time for you to step up, show up, and also about all your fears are going to come up. So you can't just get by with not doing the work. You know, now it's like everything is coming up to the surface. And if you're not doing the work, you're going to get hijacked is what I'm getting right now. It's important for us to do our work, even if it's a little bit at a time, but do the work. And doing the work means raise your vibration, clear your energy field, connect to source, to spirit, to who you are.
I want to say that doing the work is more than that.
Yeah,
much more than that. I want to say, and I know that you know this.
Yeah.
I just want to be clear in my way. Doing the work is, first of all, what happens is people spiritually bypass. That's what when you're not doing the work. And of course, third wavers, we know that they don't do the work. They've never done the work. Most of them are watching the news right now or television right now, and they're giving away their power to mainstream beliefs and belief systems. Doing the work requires the inner excavation. So it means you have to go into your own unconscious mind, your own shadow aspects, everything you judge, condemn, make wrong, perceive as less than you or greater than you, everywhere you perceive yourself to be superior or inferior, everywhere you think you have blocks, everywhere, you judge someone else. Like I have a DNA activation call going on next week. And I can't tell you, my whole life has been about giving free content, free classes, free healings, free meditations. There's tons, hundreds of hours on YouTube. I do free stuff. I've got free healing groups. The DNA activation call that I've been doing is based on 20 years of dedication, not to mention my own abduction experience and my own lifetime of dedication and personal excavation. And somebody criticized me for charging $47 for a 3-hour call based on 20 years of my commitment. Do they want me to starve too? That is judgment. And of course, it's my own shadow that has given so much away for free for so long that my own unconscious believes and perceives that I should give everything away for free. And this is like how we all go down. So this idea is just ludicrous, right? But we have to do the inner exploration to discover this. Like, I could just judge or get mad at the person who emailed me and said you should give it away for free, or else I can own it as a reflection of my unconscious that is unresolved on charging appropriate. Even $47 where I charge crazy, it's worth hundreds of dollars. And I still make it so available to the masses for as low as I can.
And that's
the
the
point
thing, they
is
don't,
that's what I mean by spiritual bypassing.
yeah.
You have to claim every experience as your own creation. Every thought, every opinion, every judgment, every belief, every idea, every concept, every struggle, every resistance, you have to claim it as your own. You literally, either you have to journal about it or write about it or somehow get in touch with it somehow. And then you have to address it appropriately, which means ultimately you have to somehow resolve it within your frequency bandwidth, within your conscious and your unconscious. This is what healers do. This is what we healers do. We use the word healing, doesn't mean physical. If it's in the physical, it means you've ignored it for way too long. Mm-hmm. It bypassed the mental, it bypassed the emotional. So if you got physical issues, it means you've been playing in the game of denial for way too long. Denial, suppression, resistance, judgment, spiritual bypassing of some kind or another. And then it gets anchored in the physical body. It doesn't make anyone bad or wrong. It's just one of the ways our higher self teaches us, right? To help
There's
resolve.
no judgment at all.
It's not wrong. It's just how's it showing up in your life?
Yeah.
And when we talk about not spiritual bypassing and doing the inner excavation, it means your body might be holding the issues for you. And in which case you got to look at that. Otherwise it's mental, emotional, energetic, spiritual, relationship.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean when I say doing the inner work. And I know that you know that. Of course you do. And I know that most of this community, we can no longer play the blame game or shame game.
Yeah, we can't play the blame game or the shame game or the I'll do it tomorrow game. I'll do it later game. You know, that the time is now, right?
Right. That's the whole house. The whole house, you know, housebound thing says, no, you don't get to sit and wait until tomorrow. You can turn on the TV, but it still be here tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because until you do the inner work, like literally, for me, this has been so much, you know, creation time. What do I want to create? And the whole landscape of the 2020, I just spent all my time just closing my eyes, blessing it, and lovingly and willingly releasing that which I'm done with. No, in the 0 point, in the neutral of my heart space love. That's what we really do need to be doing.
And so now, like, that's what I'm saying. There's no excuse, right? There's no excuse that I don't have time. You know, you do. You know, we all have time now. You know, we all have more time than we actually need. But so take that time to do the work. And if you don't know what to do, there are, you know, like, and there might be some people who like, I don't know. I just don't know. I just don't get it. I don't, you know, okay, cool. But we have lots of, that's why we do all these calls, right? All these shows, all these, you know, free group calls. I mean, I have my prayer circle. I have my Sisterhood of the Radiant Rose, totally free. These calls are totally free. So,
but I just want to say, at a certain point,
yeah,
the free thing in the light worker community, it drives me nuts. It really does. It's like, this stuff has value. We try to make it free for people so that people can have it, but there is value to what we're doing, and it deserves to be recognized and honored as valuable. I myself have committed my entire life to this. And I will tell you, the first years were really hard because 20 years ago, this stuff was not mainstream. We didn't even have telesummits like this.
Yeah.
And everybody in my family abandoned me and thought I was crazy. My ex-husband divorced me because I was crazy. And I went through most of my life kind of alone and isolated because I had so much inner work to do. And I wasn't like, I didn't really have the great times of, you know, going, I don't even know when the last time was I went to a movie, you know, like I didn't get to, so, and those are choices I made. I'm not sorry. I'm not at all regretful. I'm thrilled. I love my life. I love where I've ended up. I love, you know, this. I'm thrilled. This is my mission. This is my journey. I love what I do. I love my tribe. I love my community. I love working with crystals and animals and esoteric stuff. I love connecting with the records and the higher realms, and I love it. It's a commitment and a choice, but it did not come to me like a pill. And when we give away everything away for free, like it has no value or worth, that's why those 3D people dismiss it. They think it has no value or worth. And we allow that to be so by over giving, and it deserves to be honored and recognized. I'm really more and more leveling up to that knowing.
And that's the thing. I mean, like, you know, maybe, you know, a lot of times we do the work because we want to be of service. You know, we just want to serve. I know for me, that's what it is. I want to be able to serve. You know?
Well, me too.
right?
I mean, that's why we've been doing it for free all these years.
Yeah, and so, but some people, like you said, they don't recognize the value of it because it is free, right? But those are the people that, do I really want them in my community anyways? No, if they don't
They
recognize
come
the
to light
value
worker
of something.
communities. They're in light worker communities. They have belief systems that everything should be free, and most of the time, they themselves are broke or have financial
But
challenges.
they're also not doing the work, right? So Angela just wrote in the chat, we tried to do the work. Group calls helped us understand. Thank you, Laura, because you facilitated many, but we have had no idea the tides would go such a different path. Have we reached a critical percentage to make it easier? Because knowing makes it more vivid. To make the work easier? I don't think so. It's like the work.
Well, it is easier. It is easier. I had to dig. I had to do relentless digging and searching and uncovering. Now it's just right in your face.
There's
what are you afraid of?
So much more available.
You're afraid of the government taking over? Are you afraid of loss of money? What are you afraid of? It's right in your face.
Yeah.
There's no digging to do. There's no hard work. It's right there. Identify it and then find a way, we can talk about this, to resolve it. But that is what the healers do.
Yeah. Are you?
I just want to say, I myself also do. I do want to say this since we're saying the thing about money. I do 2 nights a week where I have a private group of very, very high frequency light workers. And all you do for 3 hours, twice a week. Well, sometimes it's an hour, but it's always twice a week, at least 3 hours, sometimes 6 hours of pure planetary healing. Nothing. We don't get paid. We show up. We've been doing this for years. I also participate in weekly meditations with the collective on Sundays. So I also have a free healing list on my website for people in my community. Like we are doing our healing.
Yeah.
But we also have to pay our rent, and we're still living in a reality where that's required.
Yeah. And the thing is,
we're
now
navigating.
The world is much smaller. So even if there's no light workers in Uganda, there's light workers all over the internet, right? So don't look at it as being limited because there's nobody near you, right?
Because light workers, true light workers, do global work. It does not.
And we're everywhere, right? So don't worry about that.
Just never limited in time or space. We're just using the energies of source, which is omnipresent.
Yeah, everywhere. So don't worry about that. Yes, keep doing the work, keep meditating, keep raising your vibration, keep looking at what is in your face about what's going on with you, because you know, Angela and everybody else, the stuff that's not working in your life, right? And that's what you have to take a look at. It's like, what is not working in my life? What am I resisting? What am I not allowing? What am I judging? What am I not willing to accept?
Just rewrite. Just get a journal and bullet point. You don't have to write even 20 pages about it. Just, I'm afraid that I'm not going to have food. I'm afraid that I'm not going to have water. I'm afraid that I'll die. I'm afraid that my family will die. I'm afraid we'll get sick. I'm afraid we'll get this disease. We'll contract this virus. I'm afraid no one will be there to help me. Just bullet point them. So I hate this person. I hate this government. I hate this president. Whatever is vibing, it's hooking you in at that frequency range, and it will always be some kind of fear, worry, doubt, anxiety, emotional upset, or energetic dissonance, which is I judge, that's wrong, that's bad, I hate, all that stuff. And even if you just bullet point it, the moment you identify it, you put your hands on your heart, here's the solution for people, third wavers or late bloomers who aren't sure. Hands to heart. Long, slow, deep breath. This thing, XYZ, state it. Please take it now and transform it into love, transform it into light, transform it into peace. However or whatever is most benevolent and for my best and the best of all concerned, with harm to none, ideally. Take a breath. Let the energy shift. Sit with it. Let it sit. Shift it out. You'll feel the change in your vibration. You're a healer. Everyone's a healer. Mm-hmm. If you, okay, this stuff that's stuck is stuck. You go to healers. Yeah. This summit has a different healer on practically every day of the week. Healers aren't just working on physical issues. We're working on emotional issues, mental, energetic, spiritual, conscious and unconscious.
Everything.
Pick one who you like, who you trust.
Yeah.
That's
See who
what you
resonates
do.
with you, and just go for it. And that's the thing. I think, a lot of times, we do have to do our own work. We try and do our best with the tools that we have. And when it's still not working, then reach out for support from somebody else.
Yeah,
Right?
because if you perceive it that it's not working, it just means there's some other hook or entanglement
Yeah.
or attachment or something unconscious
Mm-hmm.
that is sort of keeping it stuck. And that's when it's really helpful to go to someone who's neutral. I will
And
say that clearing something out alone is not enough. I don't really agree with like these vortex energy healings where you just throw stuff in there and it gets taken away, because then you're sort of left with a void. And the point is to also activate, awaken, and up level.
yeah.
So it's almost like if you puke into the trash bag, this is my explanation of that, and then you haven't had any nourishment or dinner, you're still weak.
Mm-hmm.
And you're still vulnerable to something at that frequency. So when you puke into a trash bag, like a vortex or some 0 point field, you have to make sure that you replace with new nourishment from higher frequencies, which is an up leveling of your awareness and your vibration. Because if you just go into like some kind of 0 point vortex and it all gets cleared out, but nothing's replaced, at that point, you feel really good and buzzed, but you haven't really cleaned anything out. So there's a cleaning out and a replacing, which is ultimately an up leveling. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. I totally agree. And then after that, then you have to take different actions. You have to choose differently. You
You
can't,
have to change behavior too.
yeah. And then
It's too easy to still point fingers at presidents or other
society
people
or
who have
whatever.
hurt you,
Yeah.
or society, or the wrongnesses, or even other light workers. You shouldn't be charging for that. That's just a judgment of
Yeah.
what someone else should do. This is God's playground, as far as I'm concerned. And if it's here, God has allowed it.
Mm-hmm.
And therefore,
And
who am I to judge?
and not just, not just God's play, it's our playground. So, how are we playing in this playground, right? What are you creating? What are you like, honestly, like I think of this as, in my reality, this is what's going on. In your reality, it might be something different, right? So in my
Mhm.
world, in my universe, in my reality, I don't have that, whatever that is, and a lot of times I can't even understand it because it's just so foreign to me. It's like, what is that? I don't even know,
Mhm.
because it's not part of who I am and how I function and how I relate to the world and how I experience the world. So what,
Mhm.
you have to ask yourself, what do I want to experience? If you're constantly experiencing fear and lack and scarcity and judgment and etc., is that working for you? I'm going to say no. So then it's time to choose something different, right? So choosing something different, doing the clearing work, the shadow work, really looking at what's going on, and then bringing in new frequencies. We can all do this. I mean, it's not just me or Lori that can bring in new frequencies, higher vibrational frequencies. No, you also can do this if you really choose it,
Well,
right?
I'll also just say that if you don't know like how to do that yet, that's when you join groups, like group meditations and group
Mm-hmm.
healing calls and group activations.
Yeah.
Because that's, if you don't know what you're doing and you don't know how, your vibration will be elevated by the group and certainly by the
Yeah.
facilitator who's facilitating the healing. And it's how people learn. That's why there's so much group stuff right now.
A lot. And
How
so,
people
tune
level up. You
in,
don't
right?
have to know.
Yeah.
You don't have to know. You have to engage. You have to participate.
Without judgment, with an open mind, right? It's like, all right, let me try this, let
Yeah,
me
you have
play
to
with
be
this, see what
open-minded. You have
happens.
to be willing.
Exactly. And be willing
The
to
other thing I'll just
allow
say,
the
since
change.
we're on the topic of spiritual bypassing, it can often be very easy to sort of listen to calls like this, or go to speakers or channelers and sit in the audience and think
Mm-hmm.
that you're more advanced because you go home to people who know nothing about it. But if you're not doing the inner excavating,
Mm-hmm.
that is a form of spiritual bypassing.
Susan, did you have a question? I see you're unmuted. No? Okay. Okay. So I know that we're going to do a little bit of downloads, etc., right? In just a little bit. Do you want to do that first, or do you want to talk about your membership first?
Oh, well, let's talk about the package first, then everybody can stay for the healing after.
Yeah. So for those of you who are on the live page, you can just click on the special offer button. Whoops, 1 second.
Yeah, and then we can also take some questions, as long as they're kind of about the collective, not, so personal that it doesn't help anybody except one person.
And if you're not on the live page, you can just go to lorispagna.com/membership. And oops, 1 second here. And so Lori's going to talk about it so that we can, so there is, I just want to tell you first off, there is a code. You want to use the code AWAKEN in the, when you check out, so that you can get the discount. Otherwise, it'll be the whole shebang. All right. So Lori, let's talk about
what is the web page where they see it? Do you have a link, a short link to it, or do they just go to my website?
Your website, lorispagna.com/membership.
Okay. All right. So at lorispagna.com/membership, that shows you, it's a year-long membership. And it literally has hundreds of hours on practically every topic known in the Ascension, animals, manifestation, angels, Akashic records, bifurcation of time, if you understand that, portals, gateways, clearing mind control. There's a whole new class I just uploaded on there. There's a whole course that's literally worth it. That was the price on money, abundance, wealth, prosperity. There are so many activations. There's DNA activations. There's ebooks, entity clearing, chakra stuff, extraterrestrials. There's all kinds of stuff about how to work through the conspiracy stuff, how to level up and not get hooked into that. There are so many meditations for people and animals, the most fabulous meditations. There's all kinds of new content that I just added in recently, like brand new content that was added at the new year. After it's just within the last couple months. There are countless things on the crystals, the ET races, star family races, navigating the dark agenda, divine protection, clearing entities, clearing demonics. For people who work with that stuff, there's tons of downloads, what we call 5D downloads. There's tons of stuff on old paradigm way, new paradigm way, 3D, 5D, understanding and up leveling, like pulling yourself energetically out of 3D vibrationally and activating and awakening for 5D. There's videos, PDF, ebooks, stuff on animal communication, telepathy, learning that, working with your animals. So it comes in all various forms. There's MP3s, there's ebooks, PDFs, and workbooks, and of course videos, tons of video stuff too, video tutorials. It is worth way more than we charge. And I try to keep the price low so that people can access it. And you have a full year to access, use it, download it, own it for, you can own it on your computer. It's just, we know that if we're giving it, as long as you have it, you have technical support from us too. Not that you'll need it, because everything's there and accessible. So, there's tons of stuff on self-love, healing your inner family. You understand you have an inner family. You have an inner parent, an inner child. You have the sage wisdom within you. You have the inner critic, inner cheerleader, your inner rebel. Like all those aspects of you need to come into harmony. There's tons of stuff on that. So much stuff about superfoods for you and your animals. All the stuff you need to know about healing remedies. If we need to talk about that, listen, your body, not only do you have immunity, and the DNA activations in there, they download and activate immunity and imperviousness. Doesn't mean you're going to go run in front of a car. Doesn't mean you're going to go let someone cough on you today.
Right.
It means that your consciousness shifts. So like I walk around this reality and I'm like, oh, right, that's going on the lower realms. But my frequency bandwidth, I'm not sticking my head in the sand here. I'm aware that that vibrational frequency of what's going on in the masses is not the vibrational range that I'm in. Even though I can interact there. It's like, don't you think there's angels here right now? Of course there are.
Mm-hmm.
but they're not in the bandwidth of the physical world in the sense that they're immune and impervious to physical things. Those activations are in there. There's Reiki healing in there. I'm on and on. Tons of stuff. So good. It's just so good. I don't even know what to say about it. They're so
Exactly.
good. So anyway, that's available to you. You get a year-long access. And the coupon AWAKEN, which is all capital AWAKEN, saves you $144. So the full year price is $300.
Yeah, so definitely worth it for you to take advantage of it. And because, you know, whether you're a newbie or not a newbie, there's so much information, but not just information though. There's all sorts of like activations, clearings, healing, you know, learning animal communication even. I think we haven't talked about the astrology yet, but there's a lot, there's that as well, you know, about astrology and
just about every topic imaginable. In the esoteric, in the so-called esoteric, metaphysical, spiritual.
Yeah, Lori's done a lot of work in the past 20 years or so. So, you know, you definitely want to take a look at that. And, you know, there's
a whole course. I will tell you this alone, that the money course alone costs more than the membership, but there's a whole course on the universal laws. To the best of my knowledge, I don't know very many people who converse directly with the laws. And the laws, they're just there to uphold our universe, our reality.
Yeah.
And we're only things that are real and true. Everything else is just illusion, frequency, you know, projection, perception. But the laws are like the guiding forces. So when you're trying to navigate if something's real or what's going on, those laws are so helpful. There's a whole course in there. About the laws.
Yeah, that's amazing. Definitely take advantage of that. And there are healing modalities in the membership as well.
Yeah, I mean, you'll learn how to access the Akashic records. I mean, it's not all full courses, but it's definitely
to get you started.
Than enough. Yeah, more than enough. It'll way more than get you started. It will accelerate you in such an expedient way that you will become more of a jack of all trades.
Exactly. And so this is the time.
In the old paradigm, you see our brains in the old paradigm are very, very limited, 10%. So you kind of have to become an expert in only one thing. But as you activate your DNA, as you awaken, as you up level, you're an expert in anything. Start doing downloads, you play with it. Okay, you don't learn it overnight and it's not a pill, but you don't have to limit yourself. Like the 3D paradigm is so limiting. And in the new paradigm, it's just so much more. We have so much more potential and capacity. And of course, it is all in our DNA, waiting to be read like a blueprint to be activated. It's also in the field. And when we learn how to access that and level up to these higher levels and we learn how to work with laws and read the records and interact on those planes of existence at those frequencies, it's all available to us and so much more. I mean, what's infinite? This is where we're going for those of us who are choosing Ascension. We have infinite capacity, infinite potential. What is infinite? We don't even know what we don't know yet.
Yeah.
And we're evolving at such an accelerated rate for those of us choosing. Well, if you're just sitting at home and you're just maybe only listening and spiritual bypassing, well, you're not at such an accelerated rate, but even still more than someone who's just going home, drinking a beer and watching TV, sitting behind the news. But we are right now at a point where we can evolve at such an accelerated rate. And I mean, we can heal our world so quickly. We have the solutions to everything in our DNA. So it's all in there.
It's all in there. And so, Angela was
asking. And it's constantly being renewed. Like literally, the amount of content that I just added after the new year, at least 2 full new courses, like 20 new meditations, or at least 10 new meditations. Maybe I'm exaggerating it. It was a lot. All new stuff. Some of it brand new, not even available anywhere else. So I constantly upload new content in there. Pretty much every couple months, I add a lot more.
So Angela, there's a lot of information in there for you if you were wanting to figure out which, there's no right healing modality, so that there are so many healing modalities, but it's going to be about what feels good to you, what resonates with you, like what is it that you want to do, right? So I don't know.
I mean, you'll definitely have an incredible amount of opportunity to play with different things. And
and then you
there's
can
a whole
see for
class,
yourself
there's a
where you
mini
want to
class
go.
on numerology in there.
Mm-hmm.
I used to be into the numerology. There's a mini class on namology. I still do namology. Love names. I love playing with names.
So yeah,
you can tell me a person's name and I know practically
everything
just by their name. So much fun.
So you were going to talk a little bit about the astrology for right now?
Oh yeah, well I mean, you've probably heard a lot of this through your community. I don't know what you've heard, but obviously we've had over quite some time now these major heavy hitters in Capricorn.
Mm-hmm.
So Saturn just moved out of Capricorn, but let's just say you had 5 major significators hanging out in the house of Capricorn. What is the house of Capricorn? It represents the old systems and structures, the goat, or the, in mythology, ancient mythology, it is eating the blood of children. It's that. Just think of humanity as the innocent and the systems and structures feeding off the life force of the children of humanity. So your systems and structures, government, religion, pharmaceutical drug industry, anything system and structure that we have basically been living on them. So, and it's not we and them, we required them. We were feeding off them, our government, like, tell us what to do. Yes, sir. Military. Yes, sir. That same, I need my pill. Need my pill. Give me a pill. It'll feel better. I'm just going to take an aspirin and suppress and deny my pain that's trying to talk to me. Give me my health care. Give me my immunization. That feeding off of parasitic relationship, that could easily be Capricornian in a sense. It's all about money. What's in it for me? That's Capricorn. Mm-hmm. It's not all that is Capricorn, but that's, as a collective, that's very good representation. System structures, right? Formality, how we set up our lives, how we live, money, materialism. That's Capricorn. It is the earth because it's an earth sign. It's not Mother Earth ultimately, but it's an earth sign. Now, when you have the 5 heavy hitter planets going through, well, one's an asteroid. We had Saturn, which is often linked to tough lessons and karma. Sometimes it's linked to that. It's structure. It's been going through, making us look at this stuff, right? What's, it's often referred to as limitations. It's, in truth, that's not how Saturn represents in 5D. In 5D, Saturn represents as I will give you the help and the structure and the discipline that you need so that you can do your hard stuff that's hard for you. I will help you get the hard stuff done. But in the old paradigm, Saturn is tough lessons, hard lessons, karmic teacher. It's okay. It's enough on that. And the other one going through there that's still in there is Pluto. Pluto's transformation of the shadow, the underworld. It's like, what don't you want to look at? What do you judge? What do you resent? What do you dislike? What is all the shadow aspects? Wherever you're out of alignment with love, with the divine, Pluto wants to transform that. So that's one of the second ones going through the house of Capricorn. It's a slow moving planet. So it's been going through there for quite some time. It's still in that house. It's going to come to a very big peak in a moment. We'll talk about that. Let's talk about 444. Okay. But let me stay with this. The third one you've got that just has just moved out basically was Mars, was in there for like 2.5 months. So Mars is male energy, action, force, do something, take action. It's creation, but it's movement. It sometimes is linked to change, oftentimes, because it's an action, masculine energy. Then it's not in there anymore now. It's moved out, but I think it's moved out now. Anyway, this is what's been going on that led to the coronavirus over the last few months. Then you had your South Node in there, which doesn't move out until May 15th, I think is the date. So South Node, I always think of the South Node, think about how you poop. By the time something gets to the south node, you keep what you need. Think of it like a strainer basket. You keep what you need, you release what you don't.
Mm-hmm.
That's the south node in Capricorn, next to all these planets. And then Jupiter just moved in there, basically end of November. So Jupiter expands, but mostly Jupiter wants to expand your consciousness. So it's not really enjoying this journey because it's hanging out with some real, what we call malefics. It's like, I got to expand your consciousness on what you got to poop out and let go of. Like, what do you got to get rid of? What's good and what's not good. That's the theme of 2020. Then, I got to expand your consciousness about the corruption and your old karma and your old dark stuff when it goes through past Saturn, and it's not even past Saturn yet, and Pluto, right? So, and then I got to do it in a really accelerated and fast way when it teams up with Mars. And all this stuff is related to the way you fed off, like the vampiristic type of energies of your structures. This is just my interpretation of it, because another astrologer will interpret entirely different.
I love it.
But
That is so true.
because all astrology is just interpretation. This is just one form of it. We could talk about it in much more benevolent ways too. It's helping us to clean up.
Yeah.
It's helping us to become more conscious. It's helping us to make choices.
And that's exactly what's happening now. We're starting to make different choices for ourselves.
Yeah,
right?
about the tough stuff. Who do we want to be? Where do we want to go? So anyway, these energies now are moving, but there's a very big culmination moment coming, and that's 4/4, which is literally next Wednesday, is it? Next Saturday, I don't know. April 4th, right?
Yeah, right after Easter.
Which is the only true triple portal. So this is huge, that Jupiter is going to directly align with Pluto. So Jupiter is going to massively awaken us to the shadow stuff that's going on. Big wake-up call.
Okay, cool.
To the shadow forces, so to speak. In deep state, you can call it deep state. You can call it conspiracy. And what's amazing is, even if it doesn't entirely do that, it's been doing that, that's been happening. It's a massive transformation of the dark. So the ripple effect after this should be some fabulous healing for the planet. That is, we hope and intend, for us light workers who will be joining together on that triple portal, because it's going to be, light workers know that day, triple portal means massive amount of light coming in. Schumann's resonance will further spike off the chart. Schumann's resonance escalates peace, harmony, love, compassion, 5D frequencies and beyond. So we will see that Schumann's resonance off the chart spike on the 4/4/4 triple portal. And the ripple effect will happen over the course of April. I would suspect by end of April, mid-May, certainly when the North Node moves into Gemini, we will see a breath of fresh air. We'll have more space. The air will be clearer. We'll have better relationships, because Jupiter is a house of relationships in general, because Jupiter's always me, you, who, me, you, who, this face, that face, who are we? Jupiter's also the mask wearer and the mask illuminator, takes the masks off. So it's going to expose more. And Jupiter is, not Jupiter, Gemini. Not Jupiter, because the North Node will be moving into Gemini. Sorry. So the North Node is where we're going. More relationships, less masks, or what masks will be worn. What masks? And Jupiter's an air sign. And Jupiter's higher intelligence, more awareness, leveling up. So that's happening in May. I'll say a couple other quick things about astrology, but I definitely want to talk a little bit more about the triple portal.
And I definitely want to do the activations.
Okay, I'm looking at time. So what I wanted to say also that's just so worth saying in terms of astrology is, you see, now our planetary universe is becoming so much larger. We have a lot more players that we didn't know about, and astrology really doesn't know yet. For example, there's an asteroid, sort of dwarf planet is what it's labeled as now, called Sedna. And Sedna is a significant player right now in major Earth changes. Sedna often has to do with extreme fires, weather conditions, extreme wake-up calls. And Sedna really asks us to cut ourselves off from the old stuff that's not working, and embrace our true family, to unify with your soul family, or your true calling, or unify and merge with all that is. So Sedna is a brand new, very unstudied dwarf planet. She asks us to let go and trust and have faith, and to have no fear. And she tells us that everything will be well. So that's very significant right now, very unstudied, Sedna. And then you also have a significant other, I think this is an asteroid, Hygeia. Yes, an asteroid. I don't think it's a dwarf planet, which has a lot to do with health and healing. And both of those are in the house of Taurus, which is also an earth sign, also linked to the body, linked to earth. So these two asteroids, or one dwarf planet, one asteroid, are conjunct basically in Taurus. And so they're asking us to do healing, and to let go, and to trust and have faith. So all these things are big factors. The other thing I'll just say is that what's been in Pisces, and I think it's still in Pisces, but it might be moving, I don't know where it is right now at this moment, is Neptune. I think it's still in Pisces, but it's starting to move towards Aries. Neptune is like the deep underworld. Oh, there's a time shift. This is my next show. Sorry, I have to. Sorry, this is what happened. Oh gosh.
What happened?
Somebody, I have another radio show, and somebody. I have an assistant on right now. Sorry.
No worries.
Okay, so
It's okay.
We're at the end of a Mercury shadow, right?
Yeah.
Scheduling conflict. She's got the wrong time.
Oh.
And we changed the time, and she doesn't remember.
Oh.
So, okay. Sorry. All right, so where am I? Oh.
So Neptune is...
Neptune's in Pisces. Neptune has to do with unclear, dreamlike. It also rules diseases, not diseases, but it rules viruses.
Oh.
And it rules what's true. And Pisces is, are you swimming this way or swimming that way? I'm not even an astrologer, you guys. Just download these notes.
It always
dialogue with planets.
It makes so much sense when you're talking.
But because I mean, it's significant, but you understand it really depends on who you listen to, because there's a lot of astrologers out there who don't know crap. They just learned it through an old paradigm.
Yeah,
so you have to be very discerning. But anyway, this is my interpretation, and I'm using it very short, quick window to talk about it. But Pisces is like, where are you swimming, this way or that way? And Neptune's like, what's going on? I'm underwater here. What's real? What's true? We're going to have more clarity as in the next couple of years, as Neptune moves out of Pisces, out of water, and moves into like more of its clarity of knowing. Because Neptune right now is just swimming underwater, doesn't know what's going on.
Makes sense. Yeah.
It's kind of Neptune, for me, Neptune's in my 12th house, my unconscious, which means I'm able to get into the unconscious with Neptune is a spiritually awakening activator planet. It wants you to become conscious. It's about becoming conscious of what you're unconscious of. But right now, its angle is helping us to try to navigate it without, we don't know yet. We have to get clear. Anyway, Neptune's a spiritually advanced. It's a great position for me. It's why I'm so freaking psychic. Psychic.
Yeah.
Because it's in my 12th house, which happens to also be a water sign. So,
makes sense.
But it's
totally
good
makes sense.
My stuff is all, that's why I've got what you call a grand trine. And I've got anyway, you don't need to hear about my stuff.
All right, let's do
444 is such an important day. So there'll be global global meditations and healings. And I certainly would invite people to join me for
Mm-hmm.
444 triple Stargate portal DNA activations call that I'll be doing.
Awesome. Love to.
Yeah.
All right. So do you have time to do just a quick few activations or not, or downloads?
Yeah, I got to go really fast, unfortunately.
Yeah, no worries.
So sorry. I'll just write to her. I'm so sorry. I am on a call. We had rescheduled. I'm sorry, you guys. This is like real life, right?
Yeah, it happens.
I will be with you. I thought we said 5 o'clock.
It's all good.
Sorry, please forgive me. Real life.
This stuff happens.
Okay, yeah, this is what happens when you're not on, mainstream TV. This would never happen, but we're together.
Yeah.
So, okay. So, I'm so glad. I just saw a nice comment from Destine. You have made my day with this call, Lori. Thank you. Breathe. You're okay, baby. Keep talking to us. Okay, that's so sweet. Thank you, Destine. Angels tell me all the time that they work for gratitude.
Mm-hmm.
And it really is true. Like, gratitude really makes a huge difference.
It does.
It really
goes
does.
a long way.
Like, this is me being of service, right? And I do love it. I love doing this. But this is how we show up to be of service.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, thank you for your kind words there, Destine. I just opened my eyes and saw that.
Good.
Yeah, so we'll do like a quick one other thing I would love to just offer to everybody at any time in your day. You take a few breaths and you step into your inner mind's vision. Whatever comes to mind is your inner mind's 2020 vision. And look over the landscape of your life, past, present, future, especially past and present. And just in your mind, whatever you notice, simply say, I willingly and lovingly bless you. I willingly and lovingly wish you peace. I willingly and lovingly accept you. I willingly and lovingly acknowledge you. Just whatever words, I willingly and lovingly send you love or release you. I bless you. I honor you. I release you. This is what this 2020 landscape window is. It's just let go of what is no longer serving you. Let go of any pain, suffering, upset, misery. And this is how you do it. I willingly and lovingly release you. I bless you. All is done. You can say namaste, namaste in your mind. That's how you clean up your stuff. And then if there's anything in your future that you'd like to see, you can amp it up. I bless you. I love you. I infuse you. Thank you. It's simple, so simple. It makes a difference.
Yeah.
Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, please be meditating for as much of the day as you possibly can on 4/4. Please be wishing for peace, anchoring in peace. We'll do some here right now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So let's all just take some breaths and drop into the heart space. Really long, slow, deep breaths. Not going to be big because now I've got someone waiting for me, but just really long, slow, deep breaths. Drop all of your consciousness, all of your brain activity into your heart. Just drop down. Just dive into your own heart, into your core, which is really where you reside in a sense. That's your true frequency in your heart center. Keep breathing as is comfortable and right for you. Deep, long, slow breaths drop into the heart. Exhale whenever you want to, whatever you need to. Yeah, stuff is getting cleared already from whatever density is there. You'll notice if density comes up, just exhale it out, release it. You're not dropping it on anybody. Divine Source, Creator, God of all that is, lifts it, removes it, dissolves it, takes it away, transmutes it into love and light, because that is our mission at this time. So just release out what you don't need. Allow Divine Source, angelics are around. We've got plenty of light workers here carrying angels. You guys have, wow, S-loads of angels already around us and other benevolence. So let them take it away, transform it, transmute it into love. That's the purpose of breath work and release. And let's have Source, Creator, God, highest, clearest, purest, original source, download and instill within each and every willing heart, willing participant. So you yourself, after you hear the words, will say yes, please, or yes, thank you if you want it. Download and instill within us, within each and every one of us as individuals, as is good, right, and appropriate for each individual, source, consciousness, truth, point of view, perspective, understanding, and definition of freedom. What it means and what it feels like to have freedom. How to have freedom, how to be free. That we're worthy and deserving of true freedom. That we know how to have and experience freedom with and from within and without external. That we know we're worthy and deserving of it. That we choose, desire, and intend to have and experience true freedom, all with and from source consciousness, the original source of consciousness, creator of all that is, and that we come into alignment. That means our frequency bandwidth up levels to source consciousness on the topic area of freedom. We'll also do the same for sovereignty and the same for liberation, that your vibrational frequency will be attuned and aligned with the divine source, creator, God of all that is on the topic area of freedom, sovereignty, and also liberation. Now with your consent, you must consent. You say, yes, please. Yes, thank you. Take a long, slow, deep breath. Drop into the heart. Lots of energy shifting here. Get the go. Make it so. Now, just breathe. Witness and notice whatever you notice is fine. The moment of the clearing and the activation, in this moment, this is a download, right? An activation and attunement, you just notice, just trust it's a vibrational shift in your body. You notice what you notice, nothing else really necessarily need to do. Just breathe, receive, consent, and allow. There it is, nice, good. Wow, I could go into full-on channeling here. There's so many beings around us. Got all kinds of divine goddesses over here. Tara, green Tara, white Tara. The Taras. I'm going to ask them to hold at bay time-wise. Okay, we're also going to do discernment, and we're going to do truth. Same thing. That you now have and will be instilled with your consent after it's spoken. Divine source, creator, God, consciousness, truth, point of view, perspective, understanding and definition of truth. What it means, and how to live your daily life with truth. Universal law of truth just came in. Wants to provide assistance on this as well. Clarity and assistance and understanding on what truth is, what it really means to have truth, that ultimately all truths are true. This is the law. Accept those which are universally true and beyond higher realms of truth. Nonetheless, you will have the discernment, the wisdom, the understanding, the clarity of truth, what it means to have and embody truth, what it means to see and perceive your reality with truth, that you're worthy and deserving of truth, that you also have the discernment of truth, to discern truth, fact from fiction, from the higher perspectives and the higher consciousness, creator's truth, creator's point of view, creator's perspective, understanding and definition, and universal law of truth, clarity and wisdom on this topic area of truth, that you're worthy and deserving of this, and that you're capable of it, and that you remember, because of course it's been within you all along, lying there for you to receive. Receive the gifts now if you so choose. Breathe, receive, consent, and allow. Drop into your heart center and let it be so. Here we go. A little more. Full integration. Nice, good. This low wants to talk some more. It would be my great honor and privilege to share with you today at this time clarity on the topic area of truth. Understand that truth is nothing more than a frequency bandwidth. Your truth might be perhaps quite different from another's. Nonetheless, there are frequencies of truth based at vibrational frequencies. As you level up, you will be able to see and perceive more and more truth. The law of truth will always provide you one fundamental ground, so to speak, earthly rule, which you can always use as your guiding force in discerning truth, fact from fiction. If it is uplifting and expanding, you can trust and rely on it as truth. If it is constricting and restricting, you can always rely on it to be false. Therefore, that which you see and perceive as coming through your airwaves or various light waves in the lower dimensional realms, as you call them and term them, are generally falsehoods. That which your global collective is seeing and perceiving is generally false and inaccurate. Those of you who embody more and more truth will come to know yourself and experience yourself as highly vibrationally disharmonious and uncomfortable in bandwidths of falsehood. Falsehoods are that which we deem to be fiction and generally feel displeasant to the body and being and generally feel constrictive and contracting. You can use and apply this truth in all areas of your life, for it is a fundamental truth. That which is generally expansive and uplifting will generally be true. That which is constrictive and constricting and confining will generally be false. And I use the word generally simply for you in your discernment practice. Nonetheless, it is absolute from this perspective. Stepping out, thank you. The law of truth comes through. That's awesome. Love that. Okay, let's give 2 more downloads. Integrity, discernment. These are the next 2. Let's give you creator's truth, point of view, perspective, understanding, and definition of integrity. Oh, yeah. We need this in our world. Yeah. Let's anchor this in. Anchor, lock, and seal in and through your body being, every cell of your consciousness, the totality of your knowing, what integrity is, how it is to live with integrity, behave with integrity, what it means to live your daily life with integrity, to know that you're worthy and deserving of integrity, to know that you're capable of embodying integrity and behaving in all your endeavors with integrity, all with and from creator, source, consciousness, source truth, source point of view, source perspective, understanding and definition. You live your daily life with integrity. You embody integrity. You vibrate in harmony with the frequency and the bandwidth of integrity. You radiate out integrity in all your endeavors. And you share integrity and you command integrity. You know what it feels like. You know how. You're safe and capable of it. You're worthy and deserving of it. All of this now instilled within you, within every cell of your body and being, and awakened from within you as it has been there all along. And now you share it with your world with integrity. Breathe, receive, consent, and allow if you so choose. Yeah. Yeah, this is where you say yes. You take a breath, you drop into your heart, you notice whatever you notice. Feel it. Notice it, witness it for yourself. Whatever that is for you is fine. Good, I got the joy tap. 1 more, discernment, creator's truth, creator's point of view, creator's perspective, understanding and definition of discernment. That you know what it feels like and you know how to have and experience your life with discernment, and that you're worthy and deserving of it, that you're capable of it. You have and are aligned with creators, the highest, clearest, purest truth, point of view, perspective, understanding and definition of discernment. Your truth, your point of view, your perspective, understanding and definition of discernment is one and the same as creators. As it relates to this topic here of discernment, you have everything now awakened from within you, required to have and embody and live your daily life with discernment, and to be vibrationally compatible with discernment, and to share it with your world and radiate it in, through, and around you, your body, your being, your life, your living. And you remember, for of course it has been within you all along. Now with your consent, breathe, receive, consent, and allow. Yes. Little more. These goddesses want some words. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This is done. I'll allow it. The Taras as a collective, a sub-collective, and beloved ones and benevolence, we welcome you into our field, and we gratefully unite with you and merge with you in this field of yours. We are of the most loving and compassionate nature for you as we extend our heart, our frequency, our compassionate love to you at this time. Know that it is within you and always has been to transmute and transform your current state of reality as you perceive it. Know that it is within you and has always been within you to transform your experience to one of your liking and choosing. Know that it is within you and has always been to have and experience all that you dream of and wish for. Know that it is within you to shift your reality and your paradigm and your experience at this time. Know that it is with you to choose and call upon higher realms, so to speak, of benevolence to support you on your journey. We are at one with you. We are within you. We are, yes, your guides and mentors, and we are also teachers. We are also your students. We are at one with you. We are your family of light. This you know already, of course. Know that it is within you. All is within you. You are capable and you are ready at this time. Know that it is so. It is so. We give you our great love and we release you. Okay. Okay, good. So there we have it.
Awesome. Wow. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That was powerful. Both all the downloads as well as the message from the Taras. Yeah. Really grateful. Thank you. It feels so good.
My pleasure. So if you like what you heard today and received today, you definitely want more.
Yes.
You want to head over to lorispagna.com/membership and use that code AWAKEN. Mm-hmm. Save $144 and you will have
tons.
I would like to say infinite, but I can't say infinite.
But there's lots. Yeah, exactly. Thank you. Thank you, Lori. This was awesome. Wonderful, information, wisdom, teaching, as well as, the activations. And, and that's the thing, it's like, it was so powerful, and you're such a gift and you're such a blessing. And the work that you do is so important. And so, I know that you do your DNA activations on a regular basis. You also do some speed clearing or speed.
Well, speed activations call is the name of the call because that's how it started. But we basically are doing DNA activations on it.
Yeah.
And the reason I call it speed activation is because we're clearing out the corrupted DNA from the first two strands. That's what's happening on Earth. That's what this virus is. It's just corrupted. And since it originated from China and from a lab, and we don't have time to go into it all, right? It's literally, it's not even a living organism. Mm-hmm. And literally, it's a virus. It's not organic. It does not have a nucleus. It doesn't have a brain. It doesn't have any capability to process. All it is, it's a virus. It's not a living organism, which means it's an artificial, inorganic organism. That's scientific fact. Well, what is something that's inorganic and artificial coming from China? It's a form of AI. It's also a form of our fear of AI. So that's part of what we call speed activation. So we can clear that stuff out too. And then we also activate the dormant DNA. That's
awesome. And you do that like once a month or every couple of weeks, right?
And this is the first one, and possibly, most likely, unless 8/8, I might probably do it in 8/8. I'm hearing maybe 12/12, but usually we only do it like 3 times a year.
Oh, okay.
The first one, and certainly right now, the only one slated for this year.
Okay,
and
awesome.
Unless I'm divinely guided or told, I usually do them on 8/8 also, but they're always different. They're never the same. They're based on who's the collective that comes up, what the collective of that group is needing and requiring. All of our angels and benevolence, we get channeled information. Sometimes it's ascended masters. Sometimes it's, it's always light beings, source, angelics, angel gods, animal kingdom comes in, star family races come in, extraterrestrials. I just listed on and on. I have dinner with the masters every night. You know what I mean? They're all here.
So much fun. So much fun. So
Yes.
please do look out for that information too, for the
Yeah,
DNA
you can get
activations.
that on the website under speed activations at Lori Spagna. It's under the live events tab.
Yeah, and under lorispagna.com/membership. I mean, there's a ton of stuff there. You definitely want to take advantage of it, especially at this price, and use the code AWAKEN so that you get the discount. And this is the time when you can start to really start to use it, start to learn, start to, you know, integrate it into your life so that you can start to do your inner work. Because, you know, like this is it. There's no more waiting. There's no more bypass anymore. So Betty just says, wow, that was amazing. So much wisdom. This channeling was so helpful and so incredibly beautiful. I resonate with the truth that you are sharing. This is amazing. Thank you, Lori. This is the first time that I have heard about you. How can that be, Betty? How can that be? You've been with me for so long, Betty, and so is Lori. So
I'm everywhere, here, there, and everywhere.
But I'm glad that you were able to, you know, be here today to hear Lori. So thank you. Wonderful opportunity. Awesome. Absolutely, yeah. So, wow, thank you again, Lori.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. I want to say thank you so much, Alara. Thank you for having me. I love you so much.
I love you, and I'm so glad that you were able to stay with us and join with us and share with us. And I know you have to rush because you have that other call, but thank you. I mean, I really appreciate you being here with us and sharing. And this is so relevant for right now. So thank you, everyone.
Love you. Love you guys.
Here. Know that you are all supported as well. You're all loved, and you know, we send you our blessings and unconditional love, and you know, we are here for you. So please reach out if you need support. You know, take a look at the group healing calls, the group meditation calls. Do all of that right now because it will help everyone. Okay. So thank you. Until next time, may you continue to be blessed with an abundance of joy, peace, love, happiness, prosperity, and radiant health. Sending you all much love and blessings always. Bye for now.